Okay, my wife and I took 10 years, and we read every one of the 720 issues of the National Geographic that were published over a 60-year period. We found the top 20 longevity cultures on Earth. They have 25 common threads. Put all this information in this book, and I found it's very interesting. Invariably, the top 20 longevity cultures, they were all extremely religious cultures. There's not a pagan bunch in the top 20. I thought that was really good stuff. So anyway, there's a whole chapter on that, the religious beliefs and how it helps you reach 100. We put the top 5 of these 25 common threads these people have. First of all, they have 5 generations living in the same household. Conservation of effort. They have no need for hospice. They have no need for daycare. They have no need for education. Great-great-grandma teaches the girls everything they need to know, and great-great-grandpa teaches the guys everything they need to know. So they have no tax burden, right? They have no doctors. They have no hospitals or clinics. They have no pharmacies or pharmaceuticals. They have no medicines. Great-great-grandma is the medicine woman, the wise woman, who treats everybody with herbs and plasters and soaks them in mud and mineral water and whatever she does, right? In every case. There's not a single doctor in any of these places, top 20 longevity cultures. There's not a single first world culture. There's not a single rich nation in the top 20 longevity cultures. You have to take note of this. They don't have any utilities, no roads, no electricity, no propane, no natural gas. Their common fuel is wood. And by dumb luck, by actual analysis of the soil, by the universities and the countries these cultures come from, to get the wood they burn for fuel and take the wood ashes from that wood and put in their gardens, they have all 60 essential minerals in it, by actual dumb luck. See, it's not genetic, it's just dumb luck. They all get the 90 essential nutrients, even though they're from different ecosystems. We show you how they do that. They come from islands and rainforests and deserts and grassy plains. They come from mountainsides. They come from all kinds of places, but yet they all get the 90 essential nutrients, including the 60 essential minerals from their wood ashes. They have other sources, like glacial milk. It's a runoff from glaciers that grind up the rocks and things. But they also put their wood ashes, and the wood they burn for fuel grows on land that has more than 60 minerals in it. They all live on a calorie-restricted diet. How many of you know that calorie restriction will add years to your life? There is a science that came out, and the first guy that wrote a book on it called The Art of Living Long was Luigi Carnero. There's a whole chapter devoted to him in the calorie-restricted diet thing. He lived to be 103 when the doctor said he wouldn't see his 33rd birthday. He was 32 years old. He did it with a calorie-restricted diet and eating more wood ashes. Now, these people don't get any bad stuff. They don't eat fried foods. They don't get any processed meats with nitrates and nitrites. They don't drink any carbonated drinks. Not because they wouldn't if that stuff was there, but who's going to build drive-thrus to sell that kind of thing? There's no roads, no cars. I mean, why would you build drive-thrus for a bunch of guys on burros? It ain't going to work. Okay, so by default, they're getting their wood ashes or minerals, and by default, they're poor. They only can afford 900 calories a day. These people, on the average, take in 900 calories a day. Americans, according to the New England Centenarian Study, which comes out every year by Harvard Medical School, they say Americans take in 2,800 to 3,200 calories every day. These people take in an average of 900. It's not because they know low calories is good for them. It's because they're just poor. They can only afford that. Their gardens are as big as this table here. They're postage stamp gardens. Now, they do get 20 times to 50 times the antioxidants we do as actually measured by ORAC points. ORAC is an acronym or abbreviation for oxygen radical absorption capacity. It tells you how many free radicals are neutralized by the antioxidants in a food. This is where the super juices came from. Mangosteen, goji, acai berry, pomegranate juice, Patagonian wild blueberries, New Zealand black currants, and all these exotic juices. They're very, very good. They have high antioxidants, but they're only 1/25 to the recipe. Americans take in 1,500 ORAC points, 1,500. According to Harvard Medical School, these people take in 20,000 to 50,000. Personally, I take in 100,000 every day. I kind of hit it hard. Now, this was the last National Geographic I read. This baby will live to be 120. And when you read it, and you read my book, Immortality, you'll see that they read Immortality, because every point they make is taken chapter by chapter. And I love it. Because in the Western Hemisphere, the longest lived people are the Nicoyans from the Nicoyan Peninsula in Costa Rica, Central America. They live out in the forest. They're uneducated. Their average lifespan is 90. They have 40 times the 100-year-olds we do. They have 100-year-old per 250 of their population. We have 100-year-old per 10,000. They have 40 times the 100-year-olds. They don't have doctors. They don't have clinics. They don't have hospitals. No private or government insurance. They have grandma and great-grandma and great-great-grandma. And they have, by dumb luck, minerals that they're taking their wood ashes and putting in their gardens. Now, this child from Central America, these people live to be 90. And when they wrote this article, it's just beautiful, because the last couple of paragraphs they say, well, is drop dead predictable as gravity? These kids will live to be 120. They're just living longer and longer and longer. They're already living now to be 100, 105. They're going to live to be 120. And we can't tell if it's genetics or dumb luck. It's dumb luck. So they couldn't find the gene because there ain't none, as they say.
Definitely get yourself a copy of Dr. Wallach's cookbook. This is basically a textbook about how to cook without the bad foods, particularly oil and gluten. This is 300 pages stuffed full of recipes without the bad foods that they're usually made from. And of course, make sure to check out our food page, Notice Foods, that's on YouTube, and at Notice Foods on Instagram. We have a lot of content up there teaching you how to cook without the bad foods that Dr. Wallach describes, and Dr. Glidden's 12 bad foods, all of that, all of the rules that you need to know. And we have experienced chefs and bakers who will answer the questions in those inboxes. And I've also published a book in response to some of Dr. Wallach's criticisms, including the major articles that have been written against him on the internet. So if you are a Dr. Wallach fan or a longevity distributor, I definitely recommend having this book in your toolkit. And definitely check out my book, Fake Diseases. It covers all of the major topics that come up, like birth defects, blood sugar problems, bone and joint problems, cancer, autoimmune problems, and more. And it's on Amazon for just $9.99.